I've got bullish news for you. BlackRock is pitching crypto exchanges to list its BUIDL token as the SEC approves the New York Stock Exchange to list Bitcoin spot ETF options. And a Federal Reserve member is saying bullish things about stablecoins and DeFi, and Kamala Harris is looking for replacements for Gary Gensler. I'll give you the details. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as a thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, we have to talk about Bitcoin because today it surged past $68,000. At one point, it did touch $69,000. And as stated in yesterday's podcast, we need Bitcoin to close the weekly over 65, and if we are able to break through 70K within the next week, that will be very bullish for the market. And the DXY, guys, it is officially in the overbought zone, and it looks like it's starting to pull back here and overbought from the RSI standpoint. It crossed 70, and that is an overbought scenario where it's very bearish because it can't keep going up in a straight line. It has to pull back. So this will start breaking down. So we are seeing some bullish momentum setting up here for Bitcoin and altcoins, but we have to be patient. So let's watch the weekly close on Sunday. And here's what analyst Crypto Wizard said. After 233 days in a descending channel, Bitcoin is finally breaking out. A test of $72,000 followed by a test of the TL will make it ironclad, though a breakout will trigger an immediate all-time high rally. The parabolic phase is coming. So guys, things are setting up really well here. We have to be patient. There's no guarantees now. I don't want you guys to think that this is 100% a certainty, but I think it's a high probability unless there's a black swan event, which no one can predict, of course. But if there's no black swan events or anything like that, I think there's a high probability that as we head towards the end of October, we're going to start to see some bullish momentum and heading into the election as well. And as stated before, with the election uncertainty out of the way, the markets, I think, will continue to rip, and Q4 is going to be amazing. Now, another factor is, of course, global liquidity continues to rise, and China seems to be the one that's leading the charge here in pumping up global liquidity. Dan Tapiero, macro investor, said Bazooka 3. Essentially, the central bank is buying equity now. He says there is nothing more positive for liquidity in markets. Gold bought up to all-time highs today. Still not much euphoria there. Should drive Bitcoin to new highs. Crypto as well. Asia leads the Bitcoin bull cycle. ? He asked, and he screenshotted the news coming out of China that the PBOC starts share buyback equity swap tools to aid markets. So China is going through massive stimulus, and they're doing it in phases, right? This is like the third phase within the past couple of months. So all of that will contribute to global liquidity, and watch the Fed here as they continue to cut rates. They will have to service the debt. They will go back to QE. So all of this will drive asset prices up. So the table is setting up here for the continuation of the bull market, folks. Matt Hogan, Chief Investment Officer at Bitwise, who I've had on the podcast, said we're headed to a six-figure Bitcoin. ETF flows re-accelerating, election approaching, infinite deficits, bipartisan agreement, economic stimulus in China, global rate cuts, the Fed, the ECB, having supply shock starting to bite, whales accumulating. So yesterday's podcast, I told you guys about how much BlackRock has been buying up, right? It's pretty significant from an ETF standpoint. So multiple factors are telling us a story here, guys. So we're looking at different things, the charts, the macro, and much more, and it's all pointing to this bull market continuing, but we have to be patient. Now, big news coming out from the SEC. The SEC gives New York Stock Exchange and Cboe the go-ahead to list options trading for multiple Bitcoin spot ETFs. Now, remember, they approved the NASDAQ about a month ago or a few weeks ago. Now they're letting the New York Stock Exchange get involved. Folks, I hope you see what's setting up here. And if you caught my interview with Nate Geraci of the ETF store, he highlighted how bullish this is. These options are going to bring in a ton of liquidity into the market. So it's certainly going to be one of the catalysts that helps Bitcoin to continue to rise and reaching new all-time highs. And of course, we're expecting six-figure plus Bitcoin at the top of this market cycle. So this is very bullish news. Eric Balchunas weighed in. He's an ETF expert at Bloomberg. He said they approved the same thing for NASDAQ recently recently, so not a big surprise, but still good news as the SEC was a big hurdle. We are hearing good things about the rest of the process, although exact timeline for listing dates still unclear. Now, folks, before we go further, a quick word from our sponsor, and that is Uphold, where you can buy Bitcoin and all the top altcoins. In fact, they have 300 plus cryptocurrencies on their platform. I've been a user of Uphold for many years now, since 2018 actually, and they are reliable. They're one of my go-to exchanges. And folks, they don't commingle or lend out your crypto assets. They are 100% reserve, and you can review their transparency report. They make it easy, guys, to buy, sell, trade crypto, and they're available in over 150 countries. They also have a great product called USD interest accounts, where you can park your dry powder or your crypto profits and earn 4.9% APY on balances over $1,000. Below 1,000, it's 2%. Best of all, there's no lockups. You can pull your money in and out at any point. There are no monthly fees or subscription fees, and it's also FDIC insured. So if you'd like to learn more about Uphold, visit the link in the description. Now, we have some very big news coming out from a Federal Reserve member. And here are some of the statements. Stablecoins may have benefits for payments systems. Decentralized finance tech can add efficiency. Stablecoins need guardrails to minimize run risks. DeFi technology can also complement centralized finance. These are some very bullish statements coming from Christopher Waller, who took office as a member of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System on December 18, 2020. Just yesterday, I told you about what Janet Yellen said about CBDCs and stablecoins. You seeing the theme here? You seeing what I'm seeing? The narrative is being laid for stablecoin legislation. It's coming. And that's going to be incredibly bullish for the crypto market, because if you have more clarity around stablecoins, it allows more liquidity to come into the stablecoin market, which ultimately goes a lot of it into the crypto assets, right? We've seen Tether, USDC, and much more being used. You have PYUSD, and then Ripple is about to launch their token. So we are seeing some very bullish statements from these government officials, folks. And I don't think it's a random thing that they're just all of a sudden talking about it. I think the timing is key here, and we're hearing about stablecoin legislation in the House. The FIT 21 market structure bill made it out of the House. We need stablecoins to make it out. And of course, the FIT 21 bill, there's a version that's going to possibly make it through the Senate by the end of this year. So things are setting up really well here, folks. Now, BlackRock is in talks with global crypto exchanges to integrate the BUIDL token as futures collateral. Wow. The exchanges BlackRock is in discussion with include Binance, OKX, and Deribit, according to people familiar with the matter. Wow, folks. Larry Fink is not playing around. So we continue to see the building, the expansion globally, the partnerships, the mergers and the acquisitions, and the investment of capital, folks. And of course, BlackRock is going to do this. They want their token to be leveraged. And remember, this token is on Ethereum. And if you hold the ETH token, this can be beneficial to you. Now, I need to do some research to see if this is something that you can readily invest in. I'm not sure. I'll try to ask some of my buddies at exchanges like OKX. I used to work for OKX Exchange, and I'll try to get some details for you guys. But look at the moves being made by the world's wealthiest asset manager. They're not doing this for fun. They are in the business of making money, and they don't want to lose money, but they recognize what's happening here. That's why they're tokenizing, they launch ETFs, they custody reserves for Circle's USDC, and much more. Now, we got big news coming out of Singapore that Singapore's largest bank, DBS, launches token services to enable blockchain-based banking. Of course they are. If they don't, they will have a blockbuster moment, right? You have to adapt to the technology, innovate or die. And that's what happened with Netflix versus Blockbuster, right, guys? And in addition, Amazon and other retailers and other services and so forth, we saw if you don't adapt to this thing, you're done. And it's incredible. The world's largest institutions are participating. Banks, stock exchanges, hedge funds, you name it. They're all here. Remember when I've been telling you guys for years that crypto will be trading on the stock exchanges? I wasn't kidding, because it's the new asset class. And while there's been a lot of FUD from some of these bank guys like Jamie Dimon, pretty much they were doing that so that you wouldn't front run them. Now, many of us did. They don't like that, of course, but they're now catching up with ETFs and so forth. Now they have an avenue, a product where they can make money off of it. Before they couldn't. So they don't want you to make money. They want you to come through them so they can take your money and take some fees And sure, you may make money through them, but it's not going to be the same type of return. And they take a large chunk of it with their fees. And they want to, they want to gatekeep this, but disruption is here. The token economy is being built right before our eyes. I've been telling you guys for a long time, right? Everything running on the blockchain. Now, Laura Shin of the Unchained podcast tweeted out today, Scoop, Vice President Kamala Harris is looking at potential replacements for SEC Chair Gary Gensler, insiders told Unchained. So this is kind of like, some secret sources. We don't have official confirmation, although the Crypto for Harris team retweeted this news. And let me give you some details who they're looking at. The Harris transition team is vetting candidates to replace Gary Gensler as chair of the SEC, according to two sources close to the deliberations. Unchained has learned the two potential replacements, Georgetown law professor Chris Brummer and chair of the Public Company Accounting Oversight Board, Erica Williams, who are set to have more favorable views on crypto than Gensler. Wow. I'm not surprised by this. We've been hearing that Kamala Harris would kick out Gary Gensler. I think Mark Cuban was tweeting about that Harris's team said they don't like Gary Gensler and what he's been doing, and they will kick him out and so forth. And I think Gary's out either way, but for sure he is out if Trump wins. Like Trump clearly said, I will fire Gary Gensler on day one, right? That clip has gone viral. But of course, there's still a lot of ambiguity around Kamala Harris and what the hell her crypto policy is, right? Let's call it like it is. I'm not anti Kamala Harris. I'm not saying don't vote for her. I've told you guys I'm an independent, and you are all adults, so you make your decisions. People vote for many different reasons. But as it relates to crypto, I have to keep it real. I got to call it like I see it. And Kamala Harris has not been doing a good job. We're just getting bits and pieces. And like I said, a lot of ambiguity. We need clear policy. Donald Trump and the Republicans have put out clear policy in what they want to do. So let's see if there's some confirmation of this news that they are indeed looking for candidates. And if you recall, just about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, the Trump camp released their candidates. And their lead candidate was Robinhood's Dan Gallagher, who, of course, used to work at the SEC. So, we'll have to wait and see for confirmation. This is just like a hidden source, but I want concrete proof. I need to see the Democrat policy include this. I need to see Kamala Harris come out and say, I will support crypto and do what I need to do and yada, yada. And as I've been telling you guys, my goal is to take crypto off the ballot. It shouldn't be an election item. We can vote on other issues, and there are many other issues this country is facing, and you can pick your candidate accordingly. But as it relates to crypto, we need this to be off the ballot because we need both Democrats and Republicans in the Senate because it already passed the House. We need them to work together to get this done. And we need both candidates to embrace crypto because regardless of who wins, we need a president to sign this into law. We know Donald Trump will definitely do it. Kamala Harris, we can't say with 100% certainty that she will, right? Let's be honest. And I wish the situation was different because I want this off the ballot, but it is what it is. And I've been telling you guys for a long time, the Democrats keep playing around with Gensler and Elizabeth Warren and all this nonsense. They're going to feel it in the polls, and they're going to get hit hard. There's a lot of campaign donations. Crypto is the largest spender in this election cycle, and a lot of crypto voters are single issue voters, and they're going to vote accordingly. So keeping it real with you guys. All right, folks, that's the news. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Don't forget to sign up for my free email newsletter, 100% free. It's available on Substack. Link will be in the description. Also, a great way to support me in the podcast is to grab a copy of my book, Rethinking Crypto, available on Amazon and paperback and digital. If you bought a copy already, please leave a rating and review. It will really help me out. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.